Hello friends, welcome to Developing on AWS. My name is Tapas, and in this video we are going to talk about Amazon S3 service. This is the first service we are going to talk about in our series. After that maybe we will talk about EC2, and there are a number of services. So in our previous video we have already seen AWS CLI, and we connected to S3 service using AWS CLI, if you guys remember. So if you have not seen that video, you can go ahead and have a look. So once you logged into AWS console, then you can search for the service, which is S3. Then it will load the S3 service page. And what is S3? S3 stands for Simple Storage Service. So Simple Storage Service is used to store any document in your application, which you are going to access it from your application. That means you are going to put some data, you are going to retrieve some data, all those things. So now for any applications you can have n number of documents, and those documents you are not going to put it into any database because it will be performance overhead. So for that always you prefer to use any document service. Okay, so any like people use some other UCM, all those things are there. So like that, AWS S3 is one of the famous storage service. So it is hugely used, and those who are using AWS, of course, they are using S3 service. Even those who are not using AWS also, they are just for storage, they are using S3. So when you come here, you can see something which is bucket. Bucket is nothing where you put all your files or whatever the documents. And why you can have n number of buckets? Because your requirement might be like that. In your application, you can have different requirement, like different departments you have. Let's say finance department, they need their documents separately. Those are critical documents. Then transport department, they will have different. So like that, if it is any ERP system or if it is social media, they will put all those images, all those documents somewhere, right? So for that we have logical separations of our documents, so which we can separate it through buckets. So let's go ahead and create a bucket. So this is something, enter DNS compliant bucket name. Why they are saying DNS compliant bucket name is, we have already discussed in our previous video that if you remember, we tried to create one bucket and it said this name is not available because the bucket publicly is going to be accessed through the name of the bucket itself, because the URL, if you see, we are going to see that URL later, it starts with the bucket name. So that's why it is globally unique. Okay, so let me try to create one bucket with the name test, and you can see here bucket name already exists. So what we have to do, demo bucket 1011, let's say something like that. Then region, if you see here there are different region, and you want to create your bucket in which region, that depends upon your requirement. Let's say all your AWS services from where you are going to access to this S3 bucket are there somewhere in Singapore. So obviously in that case you are going to choose Singapore. Okay, that is one region. And let's say if you want from where this maximum number of users are there and they are going to access from where. So based on that also you can take a call. And another thing is, if there is any compliance issue, let's say if it is a financial domain, there are in different countries they have compliance issues and they say that their data cannot go out of the country. So that case you have to stay within their region. Okay, so for now let's leave it to US East and click on next. These are all versioning logging related things, you can just leave it default. This you can leave it default for now. We'll see what is this later. Okay, then create a bucket. Okay, okay, this is just warning, maybe we can just avoid this and go ahead. Okay, you can just close bucket 1011. It might have missed some configuration setting. So let's try to upload. If you'll see if anything goes wrong. So now let's upload some files to our bucket. Click on next. There is something. This is the owner. Owner is going to have access to read and read write. You can add some other account and give some permission to that. Then here, this is something important. Storage class. So when we go ahead and store some document, right? So the behavior of that document, the way we are going to access that document, it can be different, right? Let's say I have some document which is image file, user profile. When users logged in, immediately we need to paste that image and we have to display in our home page. So that means that is something frequently accessed. There is something which is not frequently accessed, like long-lived infrequently accessed data, and there is something intelligent tiering. That means the pattern, we don't know how this document will be accessed. Okay, then something one zone IA. Glacier means something we are going to put it and we are just going to, we don't know when we need this. Maybe if some audit happens, then only we need it. Maybe after 1 year, 2 years, something like that, then we can go for this glacier one. So if you see here, this availability zone for these things 333, that means whenever, if it is standard or these things, whenever we upload any file, AWS is going to replicate this file to 3 different availability zone. That means if something happened in one availability zone, because of some natural calamity or something got destroyed, still our documents are safe and we are going to get our document. But there is one option which is one zone IA, long-lived, infrequently accessed, non-critical data. That means something which is not critical and we can afford the loss of the document. Then we can go for this one where it is going to put the document in only one availability zone. Okay, so if you come here, if you'll see different things, the pricing might different. This is something availability zone 3, but this is 1. So Amazon is going to charge less for this one as compared to this one. So Glacier, even they might charge less. And the minimum storage duration also, if you see 30 days, here 90 days, here 180 days. Okay, so you can, based on that, see what is your requirement and then you can choose the storage class and go ahead. So for now we'll go ahead with standard, then click on upload. Okay, so now upload is done. Let's go ahead and click that file, try to see whether we are able to access that file or not. This is the object URL to access that file. Click here. Oh, so it says access denied. Why? Because whenever we upload any file to any of our bucket or whenever we create any bucket, by default it is private. And ideally, if you'll see, it should be private, or else when you create any bucket and it is accessed through the world to everybody, then it's a risk, right? So because in your, it might be a financial organization and all the documents are needs to be private, correct? So for that, even our bucket will be private. So to change that, let's say if you want something, it has to be accessed to the public, then you can go to permission tabs. Here you can edit this and you uncheck this one, block all public access. That means now you are going to access to everybody. Okay, there are different options through access control list, then based on different public bucket policies we can set, so which we can see later. It will take much more time if you'll go there. So it is asking me to confirm it, so let's confirm. Okay, so now it is done. Now let's get back to our bucket again. Let's try to access it. Okay, but still it says access denied only. Why? Because we made the bucket as public, but that doesn't mean all the files or documents which are there inside that bucket will be public, because the requirement might be inside my bucket only 2 files. I just need to make it public and rest of the files should be private. So for that, again, in document level we have option to make it public or private. So here you can see make public. Okay, so click here. Now it is public, and now you can go to this link and definitely it should work. So here you see the HTML page got loaded, but the thing is still this image did not get loaded. The reason behind this is we made only one HTML file as public, but still our JPG file, that image file, is not yet public. So let's go ahead and make that as public, and now we can just reload it. So now you see this image is getting loaded, and we can see our HTML file, and inside that HTML file, if you'll see, what I have done is I am referring to Amazon S3 JPG. So multiple files we have uploaded, and within that HTML file we are referring to this image. Okay, so why I uploaded these two files is I wanted to show you one more interesting thing in S3 is that we can, in my previous video I told you that we can do static web hosting through S3. That means if you have only static files, only HTML, JavaScript or CSS files, you can even upload that, or you can host the website through S3. So how to do that? Let's go ahead to this bucket. Let's click on properties. Here you can see something static website hosting. That means, let's say if you have your travel blog or something like that, you want to create one website for that, you just need static content, right? You just need to write that blog. You can have videos, you can have images. Just create the directory structure and upload that to this bucket. Then click here, and you can click here. Use this bucket to host a website. And here you need to give the landing file name. Let's say index.html, which is nothing but our home page, the first page, right? Or a default.html. So in our case, we'll give Amazon hyphen, I think, what was that? Let's copy it from here. Save. So now bucket hosting. So now if you go here and if you click here, this is the endpoint. If you see, this is also through endpoint only, but no, this is something we are browsing it. Now I have given this, but Amazon S3.jpg. If I'll do this, only image file will come. That means all the files I can access through this one. But if you see here, this endpoint is something Amazon AWS.com, and this is nothing but this is one of the endpoint which we can attach to a domain. We can create one domain like www.mytravelblog.com, and we can attach to this DNS, and we can host the website as well. So there are many people, they are doing this with Amazon S3, using Amazon S3, and they are able to host their website free of cost. If you want to just spend your money for domain, and up to 5 GB you can upload, and it is free of cost. Okay, then it depends upon your get request. If it is not crossing 20,000 requests per month, so you are not even going to be charged. Even if you get charged, that is very less. You saw, right, $0.002 or $0.02, something like that. Okay, so now we have covered almost the basic things of Amazon S3, like uploading things, then static website hosting. There are other things like versioning, then default encryption, object log, tags, all those things are there. So which we can go through it later. Then here in management also we have lifecycle, replication, analytics. You can add some lifecycle rules, something, let's say, I'll say, and here we can specify storage class transition, current version, all these things. So these are different lifecycle we can provide. Like, let's say if you want, like, you don't know what would be the pattern of that document, and later you want to change it to something else. So you can specify the lifecycle of that document, how you can specify. So those things are there, even replication, analytics. So you can go through the document and you can have an idea of, you can have complete knowledge on this S3, because our main target is to communicate with S3 using Java. So in our next video, we are going to create one Spring Boot application and use Amazon SDK to communicate with AWS, through which we can just try to create one bucket, upload some files or delete files, like that. Okay, so I hope you uh, understood all the basic things of S3 so that you are prepared for the next video. And if you guys have not yet subscribed to my channel, you can subscribe, and so that you will get notified, and if you are interested, we can go through the next of the series. If you have any queries, guys, you post it here and we can discuss further. Thanks for watching the video.